Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Joseph. Thank you so much for that. Can't even talk. Do appreciate it. Anyone that wants to request any type of videos, topics, tier lists, rankings, reviews, re-reviews, thought streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I possibly can. So thank you for that. And this time it's for the film Hundreds of Beavers. I wish I was watching 100 Beavers, but that's what, porn sites are for. But this is a film that some say 2022, some say 2024. For the sake of argument, I'll just put 2024. If it's wrong, whoop-dee. Now, I heard of this film because for a good day or two, it had this big hype on, I want to say Vinegar Syndrome released this, and people like, oh, you gotta buy this, and it's gonna sell out and stuff, and I'm sitting there going, what the hell? I thought it was an older movie, first off. I'm like, is this a movie I never heard of before? But no, it's a newer film. And so the plot of the film, there's barely a plot. This Applejack salesman, and this takes place way back in the day, before there was even a Green Bay, because you see the formation of the Green Bay near Wisconsin later on in the film. And one day, there's a big kerfluffle. He has his big cage. He's rolling on one of them. It destroys his house. His whole home is destroyed. He's freezing. And then it starts his journey of getting to this fur trader. There's this daughter of his that our lead character likes. To jump ahead, it's him learning the trade of trapping animals, killing animals, trading them in, learning how to track, learning how to make traps. And the deal is that if he gets 100 beavers to this fur trader, you can go out with my daughter. And then that's what most of the film is. Him learning, failing, learning again how to do these traps, catching over 100 of them, and then being stalked and attacked by the beavers and trying to escape from them and all sorts of crazy shit. Because what this film is, it's a black and white, trying to be a silent film. Now, I mean, there is sound effects. You'll hear people go, and maybe like a little bit of dialogue, like teeny bit, but you barely understand it. But it's trying to be a black and white silent film, where it looks like a lot of this film was done on a green screen, and the animals in question are people in fursuits. So whether it be the rabbits, raccoons, beavers, wolves, it's people in fursuits. So this may be a furry's wet dream. I don't know. But a lot of people in fursuits. And it's trying to play like a lot of, okay, imagine Looney Tunes mixed in with a little bit of the Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin type of thing. Where again, there's a lot of green screen, a lot of lunacy. And I will say this. I appreciate the creativity involved. I do. In a time period, looking for films that are different, looking for films that are original, I do appreciate what it was doing. And I will admit, when I first watched it, I'm going, what the hell is this? What the fuck? And then about 15 or so, 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting a little bit into it. The goofiness, the silliness of it. And, there's certain jokes that made me kind of chuckle. And, again, trying to be that Three Stooges or Looney Tunes type of thing. So, for example, these rabbits he's trying to catch, aka people in rabbit suits. He makes fake rabbit snowmen, or he makes like fake rabbit snow women and then two rabbits go by. They turn, they're holding hands, they walk by. The judge goes, just assuming that those rabbits are gay. Or there's a trap, and he makes this snowball, and he throws it like a bowling ball. It gets bigger and bigger, but the three rabbits, they're safe because the three holes he made as a finger, they went perfectly in those holes, so it kept going and skipped those three. And the guy's like, what? There's this running joke where he's trying to get these eggs, and he's like, and this bird comes in and pops his head. So he tries to stop doing that. And then throughout the entire film, whenever he whistles, that bird will come out of nowhere and pop. And then he eventually uses that to his benefit, where when he whistles, the bird will hit this thing to make this trap go, to have him jettison out of this cave to safety. So he uses it to his benefit later on. Like, that's a funny way of doing a running joke like that. And there's certain moments when near the third act he's captured and put on trial for all the beavers he killed. And before he's captured, the beavers have built this dam, and there's this big scene where he's on a log or a keg or whatever it was, and there's beavers on either side. It's rolling back and forth, and they're ducking. And what it reminded me of is, you know how there are times you saw Adult Swim, and there'd be those programs, live action programs, where you can tell a lot of it is green screen, and it's this, but it has this weird, quirky aspect to it that you're able to let it go and kind of enjoy the ride. That's what I felt at times with this, in a good way. And for example, there's this bit where when he's learning the tips of the trade to track, he's with this other guy who has sled dogs. But again, the dogs are played by people in dog suits. And there's this running thing of joke, I don't know call it a joke, but this running thing where they'll camp out and you'll see animated eyes in the darkness. It goes to black, you hear a scream. The next morning they look and they see that a dog has been dragged away. Another bit is two have been dragged away. And that's kind of a running thing as the numbers dwindle. So there's stuff that's kind of, funny, and it does have a quirky style. My problem with the film, it's an hour and 48 fucking minutes. And it got to a point where I would say 50 minutes to an hour in, it got tiresome. And it got repetitive. Just like I swear, a good 30, 40 minutes is just him going around the map. Which, okay, that was a funny bit. Where I'll go to the map and you have this kind of innocent, whistle, do, 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 as he's going from one piece of the map to the other. So the map kind of reminds me of a video game. And then he'll kill like two baby rabbits. Like there'll be two, again, people in rabbit suits. Oh, he's going to take them in. Then the next shot, he's killed them both. And they'll cut to the map. So sometimes that dark humor, like sometimes that was funny when it gone to the map and it showed where he's at. But it feels like there's a good 30 or so minutes where he just goes from one trap, fails, trap fails, but then this trap works, but then this trap works, then he's working on this trap, then he's trying to work on this one. So like one's a trap where they'll fly off and land and be impaled, or one is caught in this like windmill thing and going back and forth, or he'll sneak into this cave of wolves and try to look at stuff. But then if he whistles, the little bird will hit this thing, he'll jettison back on this rope to escape. And it got to a point where I'm like, is this fucking movie done yet? I mean, it just got tiresome after a bit. It got repetitive very quickly. And this film did not need to be that goddamn long. This film honestly could have been an hour and 15 minutes. And I personally think it would have been for the betterment of it. Or webisodes. This seems like something that would have been better as webisodes. Like 11-minute or 15-minute increments. Because it really does seem like a overlong YouTube video. Where it's very low budget. There's only 5 people. As actual people. There's the lead. There's the girl he likes. There's the girl's father. Which there's this running joke that got tired. This is what I'm talking about with the overlong running time. Where he'll spit and it always misses his target. And this is like a joke that goes like 4 or 5 times they do that joke. Where he spits but it misses the spittoon thing and hits the snow. I'm like, did that need to be a running joke? Like, this film needed cut down a bit, because that would help with not being feeling as fucking repetitive after a while. I mean, a lot of those silent films, they were not almost 2 fucking hours long. And this is an hour and 48 minutes long. That's pretty lengthy for this. And again, if it was webisodes, like this is how it began, then at least it'd be easier for the viewer to digest. Okay, here's an episode where his house gets screwed up. Oh, here's an episode where he's learning the trade. Oh, here's the episode with the dogs and they keep disappearing, and then at the end they fight the wolves and the fur trap. The expert gets taken away, and the lead guy has to go off on his own and learn a bit of it. But yeah, there's the lead, there's the girl, her father, there's a Native American guy, and then there's the guy I mentioned who was the expert and later gets killed. So I said there's only 5 people in it, and the rest are fursuiters. I don't know how you want to put it. And like I said, I don't want to down on it too much because, like I said, I do appreciate what it was doing. And it was unique and it was quirky. And there's not films like it out there. But it is a very cheap movie. It's a very cheap looking film, so it depends how you feel about that. Almost everything's green screen. Almost everything is like the people, whether the actual people, the people in the fursuits, like those are real. But almost everything else is a green screen effect. It depends how you feel about that. You say that plays into the Looney Tunes, your cartoonish aspect of it, perhaps. I did like that they employed a little bit of, like the bird, and then there's these fish. A little bit of either puppetry, and if at least the fish were like puppetry. The bird, I'm like, it was a different type of effect, so I didn't mind those. I just see people watching this and going, "What the fuck is this stupid shit?" I guess if you watch the trailer, that will give you a good indication of whether to watch this or not. But I would say I don't like. It gets a high. It gets like a 7.79 IMDb. So many like Letterboxd and IMDb where it's like 5 out of 5 stars, and like people on YouTube. I'm seeing tons of videos on YouTube. This is the best film of the year. It's best comedy in years. This is best comedy of the decade. I'm like, what the fuck? Let's hold the horses. Let's hold the phone here. I'll give you that it's creative. It has at times funny quirkiness to it. And I'm open to, weird movies. But I do think this could have been better paced. Because it's a silent film, there's not a whole lot of character development because they don't have the use of their the voices. I do wish there was more things done practically where I can imagine. Okay, imagine a movie like Train Wave, Sam Raimi's film, where there's these weird, crazy angles and shots, but they tried to do it with certain effects and practical and the way the sets were built. Obviously, they didn't have the budget for that, but it would have been nice if they had. So, would give a bit more of a physical nature than everything just looking like a one big long YouTube video. And it did not need to be this goddamn long. And there are times where they just repeat jokes way too often. And like every other joke has to be this repeated gag and running joke. It's like no wonder it's so fucking long when over half the jokes they just repeat and repeat and repeat. Okay, he stepped on something because he had to take his shoes off and he's screaming. But then he does it like two or three more fucking times. I do think an editor should have been brought in to really touch things up. But I mean, what do I know? It got a whole heap of praise. So obviously I'm the lone man out on that. I don't hate this film. I do not hate this film. It was worth one watch. And it'd be like, I'm not into it. Then okay, I'm kind of into it. Then it's losing me. And then by the end, like when he's fighting all the people in the beef, like there's this bit where after he's on trial, he escapes and he's having this big fist fight with the Beavers where he's punching them and throwing them against the wall and this big old fist fight. Like that was fun. That was fun to see. And the craziness where the beavers then get on top of each other to create like a big giant beaver while the lead guy's taking his big ball of carcasses of beavers and going down the hill like on a giant snowball. And it does remind you of those like weird Adult Swim type of stuff, which I liked some of that stuff. But again, those worked because those were pretty short. And I think there's only so much that you take and you go, I need a break from this. I had to watch this in parts. Because they're just kind of, okay, this is going on a bit too long, okay. We did it. Can we move on to something else? We did it. You're doing the traps and you're collecting them and you're doing the traps, you're collecting them, you're doing the, okay, like, is there anything more to this? Not really. So again, it did get a bit tedious after a while. It did go on for a bit too long. And I don't know. Like I said, it does feel like one of those movies that just would have been on YouTube. But, you're paying whatever the fuck it is on, well, I mean, whatever it was on Vader Syndrome. I don't even know, like, the price. I'd have to look up what the price, but those are like 30, 35 bucks. And, I mean, I don't know if this is worth that much of a money to pay for it. So I found it to watch for free, which I'm glad, because if I paid 35, 40 bucks for this, I would have been pissed. Baz is, it's hard to comment on the characters because it's just the lead guy. He wants to catch. He wants to catch animals to either get supplies or get this girl. That's it. The girl, she's a tease. Her dad's always paranoid. And there's like this bit where she takes off some of her clothes, sadly no titties, does like a pole dance, And then by the time the dad looks over, she's had her clothes on playing patty cake with the lead guy. So she's a bit of a fucking tease. The Native American guy, he's in it sporadically, like every once in a while. And then the girl's dad is just pretty much in the same spot for the entire fucking film. Of, yep, I'll take that, or nope, I won't take it. Without the dialogue. So there's not really a whole lot to the characters. Don't worry, I'm not going to look up the price. I mean, there are moments that made me chuckle. There's this bit, I don't know why it made me laugh, where it's like his first time seeing these beavers, trying to catch them. There's this wide shot where there's three of them tearing this log, and the lead guy got a sled. I don't remember how he got the sled, but he's going down. He trips the biddle. Just the way how he trips the biddle, and the guy in the beaver suit flies off. And like the other guy is trying to, over here, like to the right of the screen, he's trying to chase, but he trips over the log, and I don't know if that was on purpose or by accident, but trips over. Something about that made me laugh. At first, when he's trying the different traps, they were kind of funny to see. The stuff with the bird and the whistle, the running down, that was kind of entertaining. But this is one of those films that I found kind of funny in spurts. But it just, for me, it felt way too long. Like this review. And at times just too repetitive. Like, we did it. Like, okay, we did it. You're doing kind of the same joke 5, 6, 7 times now. So, I mean, I don't hate the film. Do I like it? I don't know. I would honestly, I mean, I don't rate a lot of movies. I don't do a lot of ratings. Just, they can always change. Some films age better, some films age worse. Out of 5 stars, I would give this probably it'd be between 2.5 and 3. I don't know. Maybe 2.5. Where I appreciate what it's trying to do, but I don't think the execution was as great as it could have been. Just hire a fucking editor, dude. This shit did not need to be almost 2 fucking hours long. And that can... Well, why you're harping on it? Because people nowadays, even independent style, do not understand that pacing is an incredibly important thing for your fucking movie. Now, hell, Aliens. You see, there's a poster back there. James Cameron. That film, if you watch the extended cut, is 2.5 hours. But the way it's paced, characters and set pieces and action is paced well enough that running time, you don't feel it at all. Hell, there's a film that could be an hour long, but if it's so fucking boring or so poorly paced, or however you want to put it, it could feel like forever. Here, I don't think it's paced properly, and that's a detriment for me. Because it's one of those things, okay, it's kind of a funny dad, kind of a funny idea. Or for me, it kind of warmed up to it. Then, but it got to a point it outwore its welcome. But it's, again, I do not think it's one of the... If this is one of the best comedies in the past decade, then no wonder comedy's in the shitter. I'll put it that way. But, I mean, to be fair, comedy is in the shitter, so that's sadly the case, yeah. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.